30s, we have to have some advice to give. Let's get into all the juicy and dirty gossip. And the rest, well, we'll just figure it out along the way.
Hi, guys, and welcome back to Structured Chaos. I'm Kyra, and today we're getting into all of the thoughts that I have been carrying around all week. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Today's episode is going to sound very familiar because we are getting into all things Bravo. But before we do that, I just want to take a moment to address what's going on in this country. I have always felt strong that regardless of how big a platform I have, I would forever use it to speak on the things that I believe to be, right. It is scary for so many reasons. I don't understand how there is such a large amount of people who don't see anything wrong with what's happening or try to justify it. Um, it's I don't know how else to say it other than it's just alarming. It really makes me sad. Um, I truly just hope that we all decide to come together and stop what's going on and bring this country back to what it used to be. And I hate what's happening. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. So I just want to take a moment to kind of shed some light on that and let everyone know that if you feel sad about it, it's okay. A lot of us do. Um, and I just, pray that this gets better, and anything that I am capable of doing I will do, and whether that's talking to my senators, my local Congress people, whatever it is, I will do my part in what I can do because this has got to change. Um, so enough of the heaviness of the episode. I did just want to address that. Um, my week was great. Honestly, I am still, riding the wave of my workout routine. So I did some really great workouts this week. And then it was my friend Nina's birthday. So, the girls got together and we went out on Friday night. And it was just so much fun because there is nothing that I love more than getting dressed up and going out. But like, on top of that, having ample time to get ready to go out. So, I've talked about it before. Like, that is my idea of a good time. Like, a playlist going, a glass of champagne, and just all of the time to get ready. So, it was really actually great because none of us felt rushed this week getting ready. And we were like early to things. I mean, we had pre-dinner drinks. We checked out Kiku Room in I guess it would be called I guess it's like on the outskirts of Little Italy. I don't know. It was a very small place, but loungy DJs, like it was really cool. I have seen that the vibe gets a little bit better later on in the evening, so I would like to experience that. But yeah, we just had the best time. And, our friend Samia, she hasn't been out in a while, so she came out. Um, and the weather was perfect. Sorry to say that because everyone is not going through good weather who's not in California. Um, but we like the view was great. The food was good. The conversation, like everything, we all looked so good. We had great time, and Nina deserves all of the celebrations in the world. So I was really, really happy that we had such a great night for her birthday. And then I was dog sitting all weekend, the rest of the weekend, I should say. And I just love those doggies. And it is just so crazy to me, like the connection that Diego and I have, because obviously, like, he's not like my actual dog, but he is so protective over me. He has a little sister, Franny, and she is very needy. he will not let her get near me. Like, he just, like, likes to be right next to me. I mean, I'm literally like, he sleeps on top of me. And I just, like, love him so much. So I was really glad that I got to spend the weekend with them, went to a cute breakfast yesterday after a workout. I mean, I really have just been trying to remind myself of all of, like, the simple things that make me happy. So even going outside and, taking the dogs for a walk, like, made me feel great. So yeah, I had a great week, but, two people who didn't have a great week, or two couples that didn't have a great week, were first Kyle and Amanda. They officially, from Summer House, called it quits on their marriage. They have been married for 4 years now. And if you watch Summer House, or if you've watched Winter House before, or just kind of follow Bravo things, and like, they've never really been in the best relationship. I, of course, never want to see a couple break up, but this one I am not super sad about. I think that Amanda needed to leave his ass a long time ago. I do not think that he is a supportive husband, and I think that they were, like, living two separate lives, and I am so excited for her to soar in life and really just, like, find who she is and just be loved the way it feels like she should be loved. So like I said, never happy for a breakup, but this one didn't make me that sad. And I think that he's gonna regret so much going forward once he realizes, like, when she's not in his life and all of the things that she was in fact doing for him. And also, who's not having a good week is the Beckham family. So I don't know how anyone could have missed what happened this week, but for a while now, there has been tension between Victoria Beckham and Nicola, his Brooklyn, their oldest son's wife. And we never really got stories, but it's always just this context of they don't get along. She's not really invited to things, the daughter-in-law. The wedding was weird, but, like, we never really got any details. It was just, like, little, like, blurbs here and there. Well, Brooklyn decided last Monday he would like to choose violence, and enough was enough, because he went to Instagram and shared with everyone how he's done, fearing what his family's reaction will be and the backlash, and that his mother ruined the wedding and made him feel super uncomfortable on the first dance. And um he is tired of feeling like he can't speak up, and he does not get along with his family, and he will always choose his wife. And here's the thing. Obviously, there are three sides to every story. Clearly something has gone on. I mean, we've, again, like, heard about it for some years now. She doesn't seem to have a great reputation within the industry in terms of hairstylists, makeup artists, stylists, things like that. So Nicola's family is they're billionaires. Her dad's a billionaire, mom was a model. She's a model. So, I mean, we obviously know who the Beckhams are. If you don't, it's David Beckham and Victoria Beckham, Posh Spice, their son. So it's always interesting in these situations because clearly neither of them need money. So it's not a situation of, oh, is this person a gold digger? So that, to me, like, also gives more credibility. I mean, of course it's nepotism at the umpth degree, from both of them. I cannot even begin to relate to an upbringing in the way in which they were. I don't know. I don't know. I think that perhaps Victoria, you know, no one is good enough for her son. It could be one of those situations, which I feel like is kind of normal. Um, I also think it could be a situation where, because of the little that we have heard about Nicola, is that she is kind of like bratty and stuff. So maybe the parents do see something and like they're just trying to save their son, which obviously they can't. But it is interesting, and the Beckhams don't seem to be bothered by it, which again can rub you either which way. It could say, okay, well, they're just like, they don't care about something that's not true, or they don't want to give a reaction because then you'll dig deeper. Unclear. But I, look forward to more details coming out, and the memes have just been wonderful. Like, that is when the internet is undefeated. And I just hope that one day we can get a video from the videographer of that first dance that he was referencing and saying that his mom, was dancing inappropriately and made him feel uncomfortable, which is just like such like a interesting image to create in your mind, like when you don't have when you don't know, like, what do you define as inappropriate, like what was she doing? And that's where these memes have just been incredible. So yeah, neither of those people are having a great week. And another group of people that aren't having a great week are the losers of the games this weekend. So we are still in NFL playoffs. Well, I guess that was actually the last of the playoffs because that was the NFC and AFC championship games were yesterday. So the Patriots and the Broncos played first. Here's the thing. The Patriots won, which I said last week they are not getting my vote. I do still stand behind that. I think that the Broncos would have won. The weather conditions, if you guys didn't watch the game, and obviously you're aware that there are weather conditions going on in the country, they got so bad in the second half. Like, you couldn't see the lines on the field. Like, the snow was coming down. I mean, the second half was very lackluster because clearly, obviously, the field was, slippery and unsafe, and people wanted to, protect their safety and from injury, or their bodies from injury, I should say. So yeah, it was just like a very boring game in the second half. And I do really, really still believe that I think that the Broncos would have pulled it out. The game was only 10-7. That's how much couldn't happen. So the Patriots won. They are the AFC championships, and they're going on to the Super Bowl. And then the second game of the night was the Seahawks Rams. And as predicted, the Seahawks won. So they are the NFC champions, and they are going to play the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And that game was also like, honestly, it was better. They had better weather. And so, it was a close game. They won 31-27. I am putting my predictions down. Seahawks all the way, Super Bowl champs. So we will have no football next week, but the Super Bowl is the following weekend, February 8th. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And we shall see what the outcome is. And now the moment that maybe some of you, if not all, have been waiting for. So much to catch up on. We haven't talked Bravo since the end of November, which is kind of going to be like the thing going forward. Is I'm going to save just the last episode of every month to kind of give a Bravo recap. So we'll just go over what I felt were like the biggest takeaways of the month. So starting with Salt Lake City, we just finished part 2 of the reunion. Part 3 is coming up this week. I have said it before, and I will continue to say it. I cannot stand Lisa Barlow. I think that she is just a disgusting human. I roll my eyes every single time I have to listen to her speak. I don't think that she is capable of taking accountability. I think that she is mean, rude, narcissistic, a moron, delusional, insert all of the things. That's how I feel about her. I don't find her interesting. I don't find her fun to watch on TV. I find her very toxic and vile, and I just cannot stand her. And I felt that way. I've felt that way for the past few seasons. I felt that way all through this season, and then even more so on the reunion. I mean, watching her and Meredith like sit there as if like we all didn't see the same things, or like that these women didn't experience it in real time and then tried to like spin a different narrative. I mean, it is so weird to me. It's so like, it's very obvious that they said, listen, we have to have each other's back no matter what this reunion. We know that everyone's going to be coming after us. And no matter how stupid we look or how, hypocritical we look, like we got to stick to our guns and have each other's back and make them feel like they're the ones that don't know what they're talking about. And for you to see it any other way is also crazy to me. Like for people who don't see that, like that is wild to me. Um, I will say, like, in general, I do like Meredith. I do. I've always liked her. I think that she is going through something this season, um, in her marriage, in her life. I don't know. Um, but she is clearly going through something, and medicating, mixing with drinking, it seems to not be the best combination for her. Um, But yeah, I don't like how she's like overreacting about certain things, but she doesn't bother me as much as Lisa. Nowhere close. Mary being the voice of reason, we've said that before in the past, and keep seeing it play out throughout the season and in this reunion. And she's not rude, I will say, like, she used to be like very like rude and like snippy. I think she's very matter of factly now, specifically in the reunion. And we had in the past brought up her son's problem with addiction and the things that he had been going through. And, it was brought up at the reunion. And I really feel for her. And I think just like how strong you must be as a mom to understand that like this has to happen and your son is incarcerated, and that, she owns a church and or runs a church. And so that's why I'm bringing religion into this. She feels that God, if this is what God is providing, then there's a bigger lesson and a bigger reason. And I do think that in situations like this, like we have to believe that, otherwise we would really be broken inside. So, to just see her be so raw and vulnerable and honest in a situation that she truly doesn't have to talk about, it's her kid. I really do appreciate that about her. And I think that hearing the way she speaks about it can help a lot of people, who are going through similar situations like that. I'm going to say something that I know when one of my friends listens, I'm gonna get an earful. I don't mind Heather. I do not mind Heather. I think I mean, I keep seeing things online from certain accounts of just like, oh, like when is this takedown of Heather going to happen? I don't think that she's wishy-washy. I don't think that she's trying to create a storyline for herself. I've always kind of liked her. I mean, of course, I'm, not agreeing with every single thing that she does, nor do I with any person. Um, I really don't. I don't mind her, and I'm not sure why people are not liking her. I think that she has been very real, and I think that that is when you mix friendship and reality TV, I do think that there are times where it's going to seem as if you are against the person, but really you're being honest and true to someone that is your friend, and you're going to hold them accountable, and you're not going to say, oh yeah, no, keep treating people shitty or keep lying about something that we all experience just because we're friends. I'm going to pretend that it didn't happen. Like that's not real friendship. So I do like her. Um, Same thing with Bronwyn. I think that we saw a lot of growth from her. I think, season 2 of being on reality television, she's kind of understanding it a little bit more. And at the end of the day, I will always still stand by. If you can hold yourself accountable, it goes a long way. So has she done everything right? No. But does she sit there and say, I know I've been shitty. I know that someone has said something to me and I've went and told the other person. And my thought process behind it wasn't necessarily, trying to stir the pot or be mean or, take someone's side or, not respect that someone told me this in privacy. She always, she has mentioned that she tries to be helpful in these situations, but then she also acknowledges, like, I get why you feel this way about me, and I get why you have this view of me, because how can I expect you to not be shitty to me if I have been shitty to you? And so again, like, I love that. And I find her to be very, very intelligent and very aware of things. Like, she's with the shits, like she clocks it. And so I really like her for that. And if you don't know, her and Todd are separated. She announces it this coming the third part of the reunion. I think that we are going to see great things from her to come now that she is not going to be with Todd. I think she's really going to come into herself because we're seeing it now. So I'm really excited to see her journey. And then, the queen of everything, Angie. Angie might be like my top housewife of all franchises ever. I just love this woman. I love how sassy she is, how on top of things, how over the top, how goofy. She is willing to laugh at herself and with others anytime. She seems to be quite injury prone, as we've seen this season. And again, like, for to be as glamorous as she is all the time and then to be injured, she like doesn't care, like it doesn't stop her. And I just like love that. I think that she is loyal. I think that she is just, I love seeing her on TV. I think she is the epitome of a housewife. You have money, you have fashion, you have this like glamorous lifestyle, but you are also still so approachable and down to earth and relatable. And I love that. I just love that. And I think that she is a very genuine person. So no notes for Angie. No notes at all. And if we're talking, ins and outs of the reunion, there's a part where Angie brings up that she has been trolled by this account for years and that it is connected to Lisa. Now, of course, Lisa is there denying every single thing, but Angie brings proof and she says, the number attached to the account is yours. And apparently they found this out years ago and everyone was just like, we chose to forgive you. We didn't bring it up. Lisa is adamantly denying it. I 100% think that Lisa sent those texts. And it's like also annoying to me because they all got rid of Monica after season 1 for seemingly doing the exact same thing that Lisa has been caught doing, but they let it go with Lisa, but then they fired Monica. So justice for Monica, bring Monica back. Honestly, get rid of Lisa, bring Monica in. Yeah, I just like don't like Lisa. So you're just like never going to hear me say a nice thing about her. 100%, 100%. She sent those text messages and she plays dumb all the time. And her and Meredith, actually, this whole reunion, I've been playing dumb the entire time of like, I don't remember anything, but then you bring up something else that like is in their favor and they remember every detail. And it's like, wow, that's so crazy that when it doesn't look good for you, you forgot everything. But 20 seconds later, when it would work in your favor, you remembered every single detail. Okay. Okay, girl. Okay. Sure. So we shall see what happens in the rest of the reunion. We didn't get the plane footage. They spoke about it, which online prior to, they said that they would be showing it at the reunion. We do still have part 3, but we haven't seen any footage of the infamous plane ride yet. They explained how they're just not going to be filming each other. I did think that it was funny that Meredith was like, well, I don't understand why the producer didn't. The producer was right behind me. And Andy's like, well, they were in a different class seat from you. So like there's a divider. So just because they're the first row of economy doesn't mean that they're going to pick up their camera and film you in first class. Like, hello. But who knows? We may never know. I would like to get both the Victoria Beckham first dance footage and the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City plain footage. Please and thank you. What a season it was. The ladies were great as usual. I love them. What a franchise. If you guys do not watch Housewives and you don't know where to start there. Please. I'm telling you. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Snooze of a season, not really doing much for me. We have Rachel Zoe, who is new this season, and this girl, Amanda. Rachel Zoe, could not love her more. I loved her. I mean, I loved her when she was on Bravo before, you know, as Rachel Zoe. So to see her on Housewives, like, I was excited, but of course, like, you just like never know like what you're going to get from someone. And she has been so refreshingly open about things, and she is a great mother, and she is just like, so she's if you don't know anything about her, she is the fashion queen, stylist. Like, everyone who knows anything about fashion, like, if you don't know who Rachel Zoe is and you actually don't know anything about fashion, she is like the it stylist. Before people started knowing who stylists were, like, they knew who Rachel Zoe was. And so she is recently divorced. She has 2 kids, and she has just like been such a breath of fresh air for these women who are also a group of women of either actively or just recently gone through divorces. She is a pillar of sunshine in these, you know, times, because she's like, get rid of that last name. Like, no. Like, who cares? Yes, you're going on dates. We're not doing this, like, stay in the house, feel bad for ourselves type of thing. Like, we were in a situation, it didn't work out. We're moving on. And I love that she's just like encouraging these women to do that. And she's just like very matter of factly, but like also like so fabulous. So it is just like, it's wonderful. Now for Amanda, I just can't stand her. And I've talked about it with so many clients, and we are all on the same page. I mean, this woman screams new money like no other. You want to bring up something, she's going to try to 12 up you. You want to say, oh, I, you know, bought flowers today. She will say, you know what? I actually, I bought an entire flower farm today. I just, you know, I thought one flower, like one bouquet of flowers, like wouldn't be enough. So I went and invested in like an entire flower field. And like that, it's just like, ugh, okay, cool. And so my client and I were talking about this the other day, and like she said it so perfectly. So Amanda has made her money from being a manifester of money guru. And as you guys know, I am a huge manifester. I believe in it. So I love that this is how she got here, because I really, 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 really do believe in all of that. And I do know that it's true. My client said it perfectly. She said she took the magic out of it. And I said, you know what? Perfectly said, because that is the truth. Like, it's like, I want to support her because I believe in all of this. But she did. She has somehow managed to take the magic out of manifesting and like made it feel very like schemy, and like it's just annoying. And so, you know, it's like, oh, this is how much money I spent here. Oh, this is how many things. Should I bring my Chanel sneakers? Should I bring this Chanel bag? Should I bring this Chanel bag? Oh, this is how much I spend for my nanny. This is what we did on the remodel. And it's like, girly, you are on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Everyone has money. You live in Bel Air. We know you have money. You don't need to prove it to us. You don't need to prove it to these group of women. You're on a show. You're on a show together. They know you have money and they're not impressed by your money. So when they're sitting in Sedona and they're, at dinner and they can buy crystals too, and mother, they're like, all the girls are being like kitschy about it. And they're like, oh my God, like, this is so good. Like, I love to like shop and eat at the same time. And she's like, I wouldn't spend $10,000 in one sitting on crystals. And it's like, okay. And I'm sure that they can spend $200,000 on crystals in one sitting. Like, you're talking to wealthy ass women who arguably probably have much more than you. And she's just, ugh. I do hope they keep her because she does make for good TV, but it is just like, oh my gosh. And so two things that have happened. One, actually they were both in last week's episode. Dorita's talking about how she got a book deal. And then the girls are like, oh, do you have like a ghostwriter or co-author? And she said, yes, I do, which is very, very normal. And Amanda's like, oh, wow, that is so weird. When I wanted to write my book, I just sat down and started writing. And everyone's like, good for you. Like, congrats. At the end of the day, we both still have books. So whether we wrote them ourselves or not, we both still have books. And she's like, she just kept bringing it up. She's like, God, yeah, I just feel like that's like so weird. Huh. God, yeah, I just wrote. I think it's so weird that you just didn't like write. It's like, okay, girl, go to the store, buy yourself a trophy and pat yourself on the back. Great job. We don't care. Doesn't make you more impressive. And then like, when they're in the car at one point and she's like making all these business calls and everyone's like, okay, cool. You have a business. Like, again, great girl. We don't care. But Kathy Hilton, we will always say will be Kathy Hilton. And she is just so blissfully unaware of things. And it's what makes her who she is. So on a few episodes ago, when they're in Sedona, the first iconic thing that she says is that the manager of the property was telling the women how back in the day, this was like a big mining city and all of the miners would stay here. This was like over 100 years ago. And Kathy said, and where are they now? And everyone's like, they're dead. It was over 100 years ago. They're dead, Kath. This is a hotel now and no one's mining the way they used to. But then this week, okay, obviously the context of it is not funny, but because of the deep heaviness of it and the way Kathy said it, it just was, oh my gosh. So Rachel Zoe is hosting a dinner and they're all there. And it happens to be the anniversary of the death of Amanda's child. So she had twins 3 years ago and lost one 5 days after birth, which is horrific and so sad and something no one ever wants to experience. But Kathy was the only person at the table that I guess has not heard this story. So, so Amanda and Dorita are about to get into it. And Amanda says, guys, I can't do this today. Like, this is the anniversary of Zion's death. Kathy goes, is that your dog? And she's like, no, my child. And Kathy's like, what? And again, like, obviously a child dying is not anything to laugh about, but the fact that Kathy was so unaware and then assumed it was her dog that she was talking about, it was just so great. And I just, to live a day as Kathy Hilton must really be something. But yeah, I mean, overall, we're not really getting anything. So Sutton and her old assistant Avi cannot be spoke about. It seems like a very touchy subject. This is my total complete guess. I imagine it did not end well. For probably a multitude of reasons. I don't think that Sutton would be a very easy person to work for. I have a feeling that they had a mutual agreement that neither of us will say anything at all, because the moment that either of us chooses to, we're suing. So I think that's why she gets like so anxious and worked up when someone tries to bring up Avi, because she knows he'll sue him, or he will sue her. And I think vice versa. I think we'll get a little more out of him because he's less famous. And of course, he has a story to tell and wants his, 15 minutes of fame. But I do think she would sue him. So I think that they do have a mutual agreement to just, we're not talking about it. Vanderpump. So since we last spoke Bravo and saw each other, Vanderpump has come back. The guys and girlies are serving things up at Sir. And I do think that I might be the only person that likes the reboot. I I just do. I love it. I think that it's great. I think that Natalie and Venus and Audrey are stars. I love them. I think Audrey is just like a really good person, and I think that she probably is on the right side of history a lot. I think that Natalie is just made for TV. I think that Venus is made for TV. Marcus is so gross. I don't understand why he thinks so highly of himself. I think he is trying to play the role of Jax and looks just as dumb as Jax does. So that kind of actually tracks. Him and his girlfriend Kim are clearly in a very toxic relationship. I don't understand them. Angelica is a pick-me girl through and through. I do not like her. I think she's beautiful, but I do not like her. There's something endearing about Shane. I really like him. I can appreciate anyone who changes their life around, and he's been sober for 3 years, of everything, but he's been sober off of like really heavy stuff for quite some time. I think that he is a good friend. I think he's loyal. I think that he's funny and charming, and I really loved the conversation that him and Marcus had at one point. And he says to Marcus, "Do you remember what I said to you?" And Marcus was like, I guess assuming I guess Marcus was like considering leaving LA a few years ago. He said something like, "Don't do that because you might regret it one day. And I don't want you to be driving one day and see me on a billboard and realize like it could have been both of us." And I love his project that he's, pursuing with movie making. I do. I really like Shane, and I think that we have a lot to learn, through his eyes and his life. I mean, he said that they were like the hottest family in the trailer park growing up. So yeah, I'm interested to see his story. I don't know why people aren't liking it. I don't know if it's the disconnect that we are just so much older now, and like the original cast in Vanderpump Rules was like truly, truly, truly iconic. But yeah, I think that they're doing exactly what 22-year-olds should be doing, and I think that it is great TV, and I don't know why I stand alone on that, but I do like them. So let me know in the comments if you guys are liking them, because I truly don't think I have found a person yet that likes them. Um, and then another show that has come back is the Shahs of Sunset. Well, formerly the Shahs of Sunset, now the Valley Persian Style. They are just top tier elite. I love them. I love them. I love them. They are so fun to watch on TV. I love that they are such a close like group of friends that have been friends for a very long time. I'm closer in age to most of them, so to see the longevity of their friendships is very reminiscent of my friends and the friendships that we've had for so many years. So I really 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 love watching them. We have a couple new faces now. Sky and her husband, and I don't like them. They seem boring, they seem judgmental, they seem like they are too good for everyone. Her and her husband are 19 years apart, yet they look the same age, which is not saying much about Sky. Clearly she's not happy in her marriage. I think it's just kind of like a this is what we're doing type of thing at this point. At least that's how it comes across as a viewer. Yeah, they don't do much for me. Natasha and Amir, they are a new couple and they are incredible. Oh my gosh, I love them. They are so sweet. They were in Palm Springs this past episode and they had a medium come. Tragically lost his first wife to cancer, and she comes through in this reading, and wow, I really, really, really like them. Gigi and her finances are so funny to me. Like, I want to know how much her dad is bankrolling her every single month. Like, she is looking at these 5-bedroom homes, 6-bedroom homes. And if anyone knows anything about California, that is not cheap. Like, not even a little bit. It doesn't even matter if it's a fixer upper. It's not cheap. I need to know, like, your dad has been, you're in your 40s and your dad has been paying for everything for you for your whole life, like a dream. But God. Um, so she's just like funny to watch. I love Reza. I've loved watching Reza's progression. I think at some points he's a catty gay. I think at other points he's a very incredible friend. I think he really does look out for everyone and has everyone's best interest. Same thing with MJ. Love, 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 love her. We are going to sadly see the ending of her marriage through this season, which makes me really sad because I love her and Tommy. But when the dynamic changes and the love isn't there anymore, you gotta go. You gotta choose you. Greg and Tanya, Tannen. They don't love each other. They're trauma bonded, like 100%. In no fucking world, as a married man, should you be giving out your number to someone. And I don't care, Tannen, that you sit there and you say, I'm not worried. Excuse me? My husband giving his number out to a girl because he was being nice? No, that's not a thing. I will nicely not give you my number because I have a wife. And you want to, and then you want to like pretend that that's okay. Sure, sure. Not only did you give this woman your number, but you made it seem like it's okay for her to reach out to you at 2 a.m. as a married man? No, no, sir. No, sir. I don't trust him. I don't like him. Uh, I do think that they are trauma bonded because when if you guys don't watch, when they were in the beginning of their relationship, they went to DC and she was in a separate car than him, and she got into a really, really horrific accident, and then he said that he knew right then and there like this was like the love of his life and he couldn't lose her. Yeah, I don't think that that's the case anymore. I think that they have a lot of love for each other. I don't think that they are the in love, be married to each other type of marriage. But I have no bad notes. I think that they are all great. I love the other Reza that's on the show. Um, Everyone is great. I mean, I'm so, so, so glad that they are back on Bravo. I love them. So if you guys are not Housewives fans, become Shaw fans. And then right into Southern Charm. I'm so sorry, guys. I know that this episode's going to be a little bit longer because there is just so many shows to catch up on right now. Southern Charm, Craig is back to his old ways. We talked about it a little bit before we had the break. He's drinking again. He's single. He clearly still misses Paige. He says that he misses Paige, but yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just like wishy-washy. I mean, I loved Craig with Paige. I loved that version that we got of him. I do think he's a little bit narcissistic, so I think that that's always gonna like play out, and I feel like he, likes to spin a story to look good for him. I do like the idea of him and Charlie together. I think that she's beautiful. I think that they actually do very much complement one another. I think that their personalities would go really well. I think that it is hysterical that Sally was like, I have feelings for you. Um, and he was like, I don't have feelings for you. Sally, ugh, like I don't like her. Um, She is pick me, pick me, pick me through and through. And so, it's so interesting too, because on this week's episode, we find out that she learns that Craig is going to take Charlie on a date when he's already expressed to Sally in person that he's not into her. But then she starts to badmouth him. And it's like, and Molly clocked it immediately, which is why I love Molly for, a multitude of reasons. But it's like, okay, so an hour ago when you were interested in him, he was the best guy and you didn't want anyone to like say anything negative about him. Now that you find out that he is not into you the same way, but is into a friend of yours the same way, now he's a bad person. It's like, pick a lane, girl, pick a lane. Is he a good person or is he a bad person? Like, that doesn't work. Just because he doesn't like you, you don't get to automatically villainize him when you were just sticking up for him. Sally, she got to go. We have newcomer Whitner, who seems really like a catch of all the guys. He seems like the best one. And I don't understand how he's single or how his fiance left it. Like, I don't know. Are we like missing something? Because he seems really great. So I'm excited. I think he's a great cast addition and I look forward to, seeing more of him. Molly is just lovely. She is just goofy and quirky and authentic and like doesn't care. I think she goes against the grain. I think she, looking at her, you might underestimate her, but there's so much more to her. And I just really like her. I think that she is such a girl's girl. I would love to be her friend, like she's someone that you would want in your circle for sure. Loving pregnant Madison. I mean, she's just great. And I did not used to be a Madison fan, in the beginning when she had first come on some years ago. And her progression on the show has just truly been wonderful. And I've really, really, really enjoyed her. And just like watching her be sober and like all of her like quick-witted lines, I'm like really, really, really loving. Overall, I think that the season is like, nah, whatever, but I find them interesting. So keep watching. And then Traitors. Guys, if you don't watch Traitors, you should. So you don't have to know anything to watch it ahead of time. It is a bunch of reality television people from all different shows. Survivor, Big Brother, Housewives, Bachelor, all of the things. And it is so good. And I always say, like, every single season, I'm always like, meh, bored. But then it gets so good. Like the beginning episodes, of course, because there's so many people. It's not as like, ooh, like who is doing things weird, So it's not as like, yeah, it's just like not as like fun to watch in the beginning. But now we are 6 episodes in and it is so good. I could be controversial on this, but I think that Colton is a really great player. I think that he is very innovative in his ideas. Yes, obviously he has been wrong and obviously he is annoying. Yes, but I do think that he makes a great game player. And I like that he has clocked Lisa as a traitor and spun it for the first time that we've ever seen where he said, let's build an alliance. I know you're a traitor, but I'll keep you safe if you keep me safe. And we've never seen that strategy before. I also like that he said, whoever the traitor is, if you are in this room, just so you know, if you do not murder me tonight, I will get the shield every single mission and it will be really hard to get rid of me. So I like it. I like that he plays his hand in front of everyone. Again, I do think that he's annoying and I think that he's for sure a target, but I think that the only reason he's a target is because he's going after Lisa, who Lisa Rinna is a traitor. And I think she's for sure going to be the first one to get caught 100%. She's got heat on her right now. The cast in general, I really do like. I think that they are like a very diverse group of people that work really well together. I think that this might be a season where we see a traitor go all the way and win. Um, I think Rob and Candace are great traitors, and I think that they politic the right way, just enough to keep eyes off of them. So I'm excited for the rest of this season because now is like when it gets like really, really good. Um, the funny takeaway from this is when they go to breakfast in the morning, like the obsession with the salmon. Like, what's the obsession about? I don't get it. Like, it's like every single episode we've seen them like go to breakfast in the morning and they're like, "Can I have the salmon? Oh, there's no more salmon left. Oh, if there's salmon, I'll take salmon. Can someone please pass the salmon? Damn, I got here too late. There's no salmon." I'm like, are you not being provided any other type of like protein? So like breakfast salmon is like all we're getting. And then like also too, like, isn't it just lox? Like, isn't like breakfast salmon just lox? But whatever. Um, yeah, don't understand it. But yes, I think that this season is really, really, really good. So I look forward to it. And yeah, my prediction is that a trader's making it all the way. I know that was a lot, guys. I really tried to like rapid fire go through it. I won't have as many shows to talk about, I think, the next time because we're gonna be losing some. Uh, but I'm gonna see how this format works because I could go into much, much, much greater detail on every single one of these shows, but I don't want to make this too long of an episode. Um, Thank you guys for continuing to give me great feedback. Thank you for liking the post and telling people. There is some very exciting episodes coming up for February. Next week is going to kick off the month of love. So we're going to get into dating and sex and all of the things. So that'll be really fun for these upcoming episodes. A couple interviews are going to happen. Thank you guys once again for all of the incredible feedback. It has been so endearing to me. And it really gets me excited for the future. Make sure if you aren't that you have liked and subscribed, a friend to tell a friend, and all of the links can be found below in the description. I'm Kyra, and this is your reminder that having it mostly together still counts. See you next week. Bye.